Hi, let's now talk about launching and monetizing platforms. How do you launch a traditional pipeline business? That's pretty straightforward. Do a market survey, do some market research, identify the gap, do some research and development R&D effort. Based on that, you design the product or service, decide on packaging, branding, set up manufacturing facilities, get your supply chain organized, manufacture the product, decide and organize the distribution and sales channels, develop a marketing strategy, create the brand awareness, push through mass media, ensure that the product is available in retail stores for consumers to go and buy when the mass media hits the ground. Now, what happens in a platform business? Here it's completely reversed. You use pull strategies instead of push strategies, like you did in the pipeline business. Not traditional advertising, not traditional awareness creation. Since access to information is democratized, people get all the information from social media, from internet, from websites, from WhatsApps. So what do? You try to get people onto your platform, and not just get the people onto the platform, but ensure that they actively engage and use your product or service. A great example is PayPal. When PayPal started, they made people open their accounts with PayPal to do financial transaction. You could transfer money, you could receive money, send money. But what did they do to get customers to actively use it? Opening an account is only the first step, but unless they use it, it doesn't help. So PayPal did two very interesting things. One, PayPal gave $10 credit to every new user. Actual, real $10 they put in the wallet of every user. So that whenever a person opened the account, suddenly he gets $10, but he has to use it using PayPal account. Similarly, when they referred their friends or family, again, PayPal used to credit their account with $10. So that ensured that both customers came into the platform. More importantly, they actively use it, because who doesn't like free money? So the second thing that PayPal did very interesting was they went on eBay, consumer to consumer action platform, and they used to buy and sell the same good in eBay through the PayPal account. So suddenly eBay and everybody started noticing that PayPal accounts are getting popular on eBay. And eventually, you know that eBay acquired PayPal. So these are some of the ways in which you launch successful platform. But the key problem is a chicken or egg problem. What does that mean? So in a platform, you have two sides. Unless you have one side of a critical mass, the other side will not come, and vice versa. Take the case of Ola or Uber. Unless there are enough drivers, taxis available, consumers will not come into the platform to book a ride. And unless enough consumers come into the platform to book the ride, riders will not come into the platform. So this is a typical chicken or egg problem in launching platforms. And how do you handle it? There are several strategies which people have successfully used to handle this chicken or egg problem, how to get both sides onto the platform. One is called follow the rabbit strategy. Basically, it means prove the model, then get others to follow. Amazon did that very, very effectively. Amazon Marketplace requires users to come there and requires sellers to come and list on their marketplace. In order to make that happen, they first proved the model with their own Amazon retail. So they did that and then went to the marketplace and said to the sellers that come onto the platform, already enough users are there, already enough transactions are taking place on Amazon website, so why don't you come and list your products on Amazon Marketplace. Then they went to the users and said, there is enough sellers who are selling on Amazon Marketplace, please come and buy from Amazon Marketplace instead of buying from the sellers directly. So this way they were able to solve the chicken or egg problem. Other way is to stage the value chain. Huffington Post very popular online media company, did that. What did they do when they started off? They paid top editors to come and write on Huffington Post. They published articles from top editors on Huffington Post. What did that do? That ensured that readers came to Huffington Post because they wanted to read top authors and journalists on Huffington Post. Now, because the readers came there, other authors, not so top editors, saw that Huffington Post was having enough readership. So they started publishing there. Because there was more content available on Huffington Post, more readers started coming in. So they solved the chicken and egg problem by staging the value chain and paying for one set. Other method is get one set of users first and the other set of users will come automatically, like the case of Huffington Post. Second strategy for solving the chicken or egg problem is called the piggyback strategy. So basically connect users from a different platform. PayPal did that by using eBay buyers and sellers using a bot to buy and sell on eBay using PayPal account. Just Dial did it. What did Just Dial do? They went to all Yellow Pages customers, people who had listed them on the physical Yellow Pages, used feet on street salespeople to go and meet the merchants, small and medium enterprises which had listed on Yellow Pages and told them to list on Just Dial. So basically they used the users from another platform to come to their platform. A third strategy for solving the chicken or egg problem is seed the platform by spending money. You can't continuously spend money, but initially you seed it so that the platform gets going. And Google Android smartphone did that very, very effectively. To compete with Apple, in order for people to make apps on the Android Google ecosystem, they offered 5 million prize for the best apps on Android. So that drove huge number of developers vying for that 5 million prize. So they came and developed apps on Android platform. What did that do? Because now the apps were on Android platform, more and more users came into Android platform. Because more and more users came, other developers started developing apps on Android, even though the prize money was no longer available. Another great example of seeding the platform by spending money was what Adobe PDF Reader did. What did Adobe do? They went to the US government and said, I will take your forms online. I will give it free to anybody who comes to my website. Allow me to digitize your forms and put it up online for free. Government was happy because it wanted to anyway distribute the tax forms, and Adobe that way spent money digitizing the forms, putting it up on the website. And the consumers started downloading the form. Instead of running after the physical form from some agency or the other, they could just go online, download the form and print the form. This way Adobe got people to try out their PDF. Another strategy for solving the chicken or egg problem is invest and grow one side and then after it is grown, open up the other side. Redbus did that very, very effectively. Redbus started with bus operators, digitizing the bus operators' ticketing functions on a B2B basis. They gave the software free, so their software had all the inventory of bus tickets in India. And once that was successful, they opened it up to the consumer. They told the consumers that you can book bus tickets real time. At that time, this was not possible at all. There was no real time inventory of bus tickets. But because they had done one side, which is the bus operator side, they could go to the other side, the consumer side, and start charging them and offering them the service. The final strategy for chicken or egg problem is a micro market strategy. Facebook did that effectively. They did not start what you see Facebook today. They started only in Harvard University and only for students of Harvard University to connect with each other. And once that was perfected, they went to other universities, then to schools, and then they opened it to general public. This is a micro market strategy for launching platforms. Now, let us look at, once you have launched the platform, how do you monetize? How does the platform make money? There are multiple ways in which platform can make money. The different ways are, one, you could charge a transaction fee, fixed dollar amount, or you could charge a percentage fee for each transaction. Okay. It's obviously easier when the transactions happen on a platform. For example, in case of Swiggy, you order through a restaurant, Swiggy charges on the average 23% from the restaurant for giving you the food. So there is no risk of disintermediation here. Take the other example, Urban Company, what was called as Urban Clap earlier. They connect the plumber with the consumer. Consumer then speaks to the plumber. Plumber goes to consumer's home and provides the service, and based on the service, the consumer pays the plumber. Now, here the transaction is not happening on the platform. It's happening outside the platform. The danger of disintermediation is real and serious. So, one of the ways people have solved the disintermediation of transaction fee is by not connecting directly but provide enough info. If you go to Airbnb, you will get to see the details of the property, but you will not know who the owner is. You cannot talk to the owner directly. So there is no risk of disintermediation, but you get enough information to commit and to pay your money. Okay, right? That's one solution for disintermediation. Other solution is, don't just provide a connection between the two parties. If you can provide additional facilities, additional services, additional value adds, then the chance of disintermediation is low. Second way of monetization is, can you charge for access? For example, Naukri.com, LinkedIn.com for companies. Companies can advertise, companies can see people's resume, but they will need to pay a subscription fee. So for access, companies have to pay Naukri.com or LinkedIn.com for recruitment. For the consumer, the basic services are free, but for companies they charge. So charging for access is another way to monetize. The third method is to charge for enhanced access. The basic services are free, but if you want additional features, you need to pay. LinkedIn for consumers is a good example. There is a LinkedIn Premium service that gets you can look at who all look to your profile. You don't have limitations on some of the services that LinkedIn offers. If you subscribe to LinkedIn Premium and pay a specific fee. Similarly, Google Ads. Dating sites, for example, to get specific details of people, you will need to pay. Otherwise, basic profile can be created on dating sites free. That's other aspect of monetizing platform is whom to charge. That's an important question. Should you charge the seller or the buyer? Should you charge a rider for taking a Ola Uber ride, or should you charge the commission from the driver? It's a great question. Similarly, do you charge delivery fees from a person who is ordering on Swiggy or Zomato, or do you charge only the restaurant, or both? It's a tough question, depends on case to case. It depends on, is seller or buyer, who is facing the pain? Where is the constraint? Who is in trouble? Who needs your service more? And this also may change. When the property markets are very, very hot, then the sellers, that is the builders, or the people who want to rent, the landlords, will not pay you a commission because the property markets are hot. You will have to charge from the consumer, the person who wants to rent, the tenant, or the person who wants to buy. But on the other hand, when the property markets are not hot, they are dull, then everybody is interested in renting their property. Everybody is interested in selling their property. So in that situation, the landlord may be willing to pay the platform a commission, or the seller may be willing to pay a commission to the platform. So it varies also between time to time. Tenant and landlord, who has got the motivation to pay, may change. Or there are also cases where a third party pays. Take the case of media site. Reader is there, author is there, or a journalist is there. Neither of them is paying to be on the media site, but an advertiser is paying for that. So a third party can pay. So there are several monetization models possible. You have to carefully think how to launch your platform and how to monetize your platform.